Dear trade partners, good afternoon and welcome to Atout France webinar. I'm Amreen Chogle from TravelBiz Monitor and will be a moderator for today's session. Thank you very much for taking out your valuable time to attend this webinar. Today we have with us Shreya Vidwans, Promotion Manager at France Tourism Development Agency. In this webinar, she will be giving insights about France and its offerings through her presentation. Before we start the presentation, I would like to brief you on this webinar software tool. Please note that all attendees are on mute mode. If you have any queries, you can post it by clicking on the Questions tab on your control panel, which has opened on the right-hand side of your screen. You can minimize or maximize the control panel during the webinar by clicking on the orange-colored arrow button. The presentation will be followed by the question and answer session where Shreya will be addressing your queries. So let's get started. Over to you, Shreya.
Bonjour and bienvenue. Thank you, Amreen. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Atout France, France Tourism Development Agency in India, and EasyGo One welcome you to our very first webinar on France. We thank you for your presence and we hope that you enjoyed this session. I am Shreya and I have been working with Atout France for the past 2 years now. I am in charge of promotions and I'm glad to assist you and respond to all your queries related to France. You may reach out to me via email or phone call. So today, through this webinar, I will try and take you on a virtual tour of two of our hallmark destinations, Paris and Champagne. As you can see in front of you, France is very strategically located on the European map. Paris and Champagne being very easily accessible from India. France is no more a long-haul destination, if I could say. We invite you to the most visited destination in the world with about 89 million tourist arrivals in 2017. Thanks to all your love and support, France has won several coveted awards by leading travel and living publications. The most recent being the award won by Paris for the best luxury destination voted by the readers of Travel Plus Leisure. With over 40,000 monuments and 41 cultural and natural sites enlisted on UNESCO, we welcome you to experience the rich cultural and architectural heritage of France. Come indulge in the art de vivre. Shopping is an important aspect of Indian traveler, and we invite you to explore shopping options at retail outlets and departmental stores throughout France and especially in Paris, as Paris is a hub for fashion and of course at other high fashion boutiques. What is also interesting is that a shopper can avail of a VAT refund after shopping for goods worth more than 175 euros in France. Did you all know that the French gastronomic meal is added to the UNESCO Intangible Heritage of Humanity since November 2010? Well, today's webinar is aimed at highlighting the gastronomic offerings of Paris and Champagne. French cuisine is celebrated world over. The words boulangerie and pâtisserie are coined by the French. Cheese and wine, as you know, are the two most important aspects of French gastronomy. You will find about 365 distinct varieties of cheese in France. And the wines from France are known all over the world, as you all know. From croissants to bechamel sauce to the guide Michelin are all inventions of the French, and that has acquainted the world with the rich traditions of French cuisine. We have about 616 Michelin-starred gourmet restaurants all over France. Let us all explore this together today. Experience the delectable French cuisine with your clients. They say that non-vegetarians are spoiled for choices when it comes to good food in France. And I'm pleased to confirm that France has gracefully embraced the concept of vegetarian as well. A sigh of relief for our Indian vegetarian and vegan travelers, as these options are easily available in most parts of France. I have been a vegetarian myself and have lived in France for a brief period, hence I vouch for it. You may want to refer to guides like A Vegetarian in Paris by Rashmi Uday Singh that provides insight on vegetarian restaurants in Paris, or you may try dining at Chez Clément or places like Paradis du Fruit, which are present in several cities of France for vegetarian options. For individual and group travelers alike, also for MICE groups, Indian menus are offered at uh, most of the cabarets in Paris. There is also a possibility to organize catering services of Indian food upon request for groups, events, or even weddings. One has several choices for spicy food that suits the Indian palate as well. Hence, you need not worry anymore. So here we are in Paris, very easily reachable with direct flights from Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, and Chennai. I'm sure all of you know of this. And now an array of French experiences await you. To begin with, the world-renowned Institute for Culinary Training, Le Cordon Bleu, offers a wide range of workshops like croissant making, macaron making, along with others, and in both English as well as French languages. Visit to Paris is incomplete without a cabaret. Soak in the mesmerizing beauty of the French cabaret, sipping some champagne and savoring French cuisine. Further, indulge in some sinful delights as you are on vacation at the patisseries in Paris that you will find very peculiar to Paris, as it is synonymous with macarons and other delicacies. Take home some of the finest macarons from Pierre Hermé, La Durée, or Fauchon, and others. Now, this is an interesting concept. Embark on this voyage gourmand with Bustronom, an unprecedented marriage between beauty and pleasure on board this luxury bus restaurant. It is a moving terrace that takes you along the finest monuments of the City of Lights. Amazing vegetarian menus are also available on board, and it's a fine feast of a six-course gourmet meal, both lunch and dinner options. Now explore Paris and its hidden treasures with a gourmet walking tour. Take a walk through the food markets of Paris, making a fresh start to the day, or stroll down the city's cobbled streets with gourmet walking tours, a unique way to experience French gastronomy. And now, dive into French wines with places like De Vigny's illustrious Le Petit Sommelier, La Cave Lafayette Gourmet, Bordeaux Tech, also at Galerie Lafayette, as they as they have a collection of some of the finest French wines. Paris, as you all know, has something to offer for everyone. So presenting to you the must-sees in Paris. These sites need no introduction. Traveler, so the Eiffel Tower definitely is known to all, but you know what's interesting it is that the Eiffel Tower is not the most visited monument in Paris, whereas the Notre Dame, the Paris Cathedral that you see on your screen is the most visited monument in Paris. We also invite you to take a cruise on the beautiful Seine River and have a nice sumptuous French meal. The Louvre Museum is definitely worth a visit and an amazing discovery of art, culture, and architecture. And the Sacré-Cœur is something you see on your screen on the hills of Montmartre, which is again a beautiful locality inspired by art and culture, a very vibrant district of Paris. Travelers seek experiences, so why not indulge in some experiences like making your own perfume, probably at Fragonard? Also, a visit of the Museum of Perfume is possible at the Fragonard. They also do have a boutique. So Fragonard is a French perfumer and has very few boutiques in the world, and definitely not in India. So if you must own a Fragonard, you must visit France. Besides, you may also indulge in experiences through mega sports events in Paris, as the Roland Garros or the Ryder Cup that took place in September this year, or even the Olympics that will take place in Paris in 2024. Another idea would be, I think the best and the most fascinating for Indian travelers would be meeting with our very own Ranveer Singh and King Khan at the Grevin Wax Museum in Paris. Also experience Paris and its nightlife, which is very vibrant and which was very amazingly depicted in the film Befikre, for us to have an experience of the beautiful nightlife in Paris. Paris is a playground for kids, with the main attraction, of course, being the Disneyland Paris, as you all know, with its two parks. However, Paris is also home to one of the largest aquariums in Europe. One must also visit the Museum of Natural History, which again gives a lot of interesting insight to kids as well as adults. You can also choose to go on a movie trail with movies in motion, or try ice skating at the ice skating rinks specially constructed during the winter season at the Grand Palais in Paris, or get some uh, tan by visiting Paris Plage along the banks of the Seine River in the summer. And now the fun continues in the only destination in the world that produces the world's most iconic beverage, that is champagne. Recently classified as UNESCO World Heritage, Champagne invites you to discover its famous champagne houses and cellars and unique landscapes on the Champagne tourist route. Now, accessibility to this beautiful destination is not a problem at all. Only 45 minutes by the fast speed train, that is TGV, from Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport. and about 150 kilometers, about an hour from Paris city center by road. The important cities in this region are Reims, Epernay, Troyes. We shall explore this as we move ahead. Talking about Reims, or Reims as they call in English, home to the finest bubblies and gourmet Michelin restaurants, elegant pedestrian boulevards, Art Deco cafe, this destination has diversified offerings. To begin with, the city of Reims, which is only 45 minutes, as I said, from Paris CDG airport, is a delightful discovery. The 13th century Cathedral of Reims, standing tall, is enlisted on the UNESCO World Heritage List as well. The cathedral that you can see in the image on your screen. It looks like this with beautiful light effects and laser shows during summer as days are long during summer in France. It's an amazing discovery uh, in the Champagne region. Besides, you may explore options of cooking in the beautiful slopes and vineyards of the Champagne region, very close to Reims. Experience an al fresco creative cooking experience in the heart of Champagne's vineyards aboard the Bus en Vigne. It is a very unique experience with spacious kitchen and dining area inside the bus. Come on, let's hunt for some of the world's rarest mushrooms in the Champagne region. You cannot miss this experience. It is truffle hunting. One can visit the Auberge des Moissons for truffle hunting, very close to Reims, and is definitely a unique experience to offer to your clients. This is possible mostly during winter though. Now, the pink biscuits of France. Have you heard of this before? Well, pink biscuits are a must to enjoy a complete champagne experience. Now, traditionally, it is served with champagne. It has been one of the gourmet symbols of Reims ever since its creation in 1691. The biscuit's unique texture is able to absorb its own volume in liquid while maintaining its aroma. This biscuit is supposed to be eaten after having been dipped in a glass of champagne. Hence, a must-do experience while you are in France. This biscuit is manufactured by Fossier in the city of France. Now, another exciting experience in the Champagne region, in a place called Bercy, where you'll find the world's only treehouse champagne bar. One has to walk through leaf-strewn forest trails, navigate a few swinging ropes and bridges in order to enter the bar. Thrilling, right? It is another unusual experiences, and they are home to they have a beautiful collection of some local champagne from the region. And when you go with kids, you need not worry. There is a separate play area around for kids as well. Now, the champagne houses definitely an experience to indulge in while acquainting yourself with the process of champagne making. These big champagne houses like G.H. Mumm, Veuve Clicquot, Tétinger, Frankenpomery, I'm sure you all have heard of these names. They do offer guided tours of their cellars and boutiques, of course, to experience the entire process of champagne making, which is really very intricate and exciting. Now, located in the heart of the vineyards, about an hour and a half away from Paris, Epernay is internationally known as the capital of Champagne. The Avenue of Champagne, which is called Avenue de Champagne, is the equivalent of the Champs-Élysées in Paris. Epernay is home to the world's finest champagnes. It is a stretch of about 110 kilometers of only champagne houses and cellars underground. It's like an entire town underneath. Champagne houses like Moët Chandon, Mercier, Champagne de Castellane, Nicolas Fayette are some of the names that are that you'd find in the city of Epernay. Epernay is also a very vibrant city in terms of the festivals they organize for every season. There is a festival in the summer around July, which definitely is worth visiting as the entire town celebrates champagne. Further, to throw some light on the activities that you can possibly offer your clients while they are in Champagne is hot air ballooning, as you can see over the beautiful vineyards that are classified on the UNESCO World Heritage List, or as I mentioned earlier, visits to the Champagne houses. And for the adventurous clients, biking through or cycling through the vineyards is a very exciting activity or excursion. Besides Reims and Epernay that I spoke of, there's another beautiful little town in the Champagne region called Troyes. As you can see in the picture, it is mostly constructed with these half-timbered houses that look very pretty, and these small streets which lead to several shopping outlets, which is accessible at about 1.5 hours again from Paris by train and about 2 hours by road. So Troyes is home to some of the famous outlet stores like MacArthur Glen Troyes and Marks Avenue Troyes, which have exciting offers all through the year. Also, the Tour Palace in Champagne is definitely worth a visit. It used to be the residence where the kings of France stayed during their coronation. Sculptures, tapestries, costumes, and pieces of gold and silver create an exceptional collection of treasures in the Tour Palace, which is actually in Reims. Also, what's interesting to know is that the Cathedral of Reims was the place where 33 kings of France were coronated. So it's really quite a sight and it must be definitely explored. So that's all from my side. And I now invite you to visit our portal that is dedicated to wine tourism, www.visitfrenchwine.com, if you wish to know more about French wines. And please do follow us on social media. We are present on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And finally, merci beaucoup, as they say in French. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you, Shreya, for the wonderful and insightful presentation. I'm positive you all have gained valuable information from the webinar. Kindly stay online for the Q&A session. Shreya will be answering all your queries. Kindly post your questions in the question tab. Shreya will be answering your questions. Over to you, Shreya.
Hello, I can see here are some questions related to visas. For any query related to visas, I would be happy to assist you if you just drop a line on my email ID that is mentioned on the next slide. Yes, I see a question about South Indian food available in France, which is very much the case. Yes, there are options for South Indian food. Mr. Vinesh Ochani has asked uh, about DMCs. I would definitely answer to this query of yours separately on email. Other than that, EasyGo1 would be very happy to answer to all your questions about tours and packages in France. Ms. Purvi Patel has asked what itinerary can be worked out for Paris and Champagne. Ms. Patel, I'm assuming your question comes for how many days do you think we should spend in Paris and Champagne, or is it what kind of activities are to be offered? We can discuss this in detail via email, or you may call me. But I think an ideal itinerary for Paris and Champagne would be about 6 days, with 3 days in each of the cities. Again, Mr. Ochani, please do drop me a line. I will reply to your queries. Mr. Patel is asking minimum how many days should be spent in Champagne. I already answered this question, but yes, a minimum of 3 days I think are necessary to explore this very interesting destination, and I'm sure EasyGo One offers packages for the same. Mr. Apurva Jain, best area for stay in Paris. I think I'm sure you know that Paris is divided into several districts, and we definitely recommend the first district, the second, the third, eighth, 9th, 16th, 14th district, and also 12th. First day is in Paris. Miss Kochar, yes, bike tours can be booked online, but I would definitely recommend you check EasyGo One website for the same. And for the prices, I would not be able to tell this to you now, but please do check the website again. Yes, Mr. Arun Verma, yes, there is certainly a train from Paris City to Reims as well. Again, about how many days are recommended in Champagne. Mr. Chartered, most of the hotels in Paris serve vegetarian breakfast, so you need not worry. I'm sorry, Miss Ruma Gupta. I'm not sure if I understand your question. What is the best corridor to reach Champagne from New Delhi? Well, is it the flight you're talking about? Then it would be flights going direct from New Delhi to Paris, and then from Paris you can take a train or you can go by road to the Champagne region. Mr. Matthew, you may send us your queries both to EasyGo One and to my email ID. We would be happy to respond to your queries. Mr. Vaswani, yes, towards the end of this session, you will receive all the contact details that you can uh, take from this webinar. Mr. Parekh, Miss Parekh, I'm really sorry. Yes, you can definitely recommend Champagne as well as Paris, of course, to family and honeymooners. Yes, most certainly. Mr. Verma, yes, I am not sure if all champagne houses accept, but most of them do, and it's a stretch of about 110 kilometers of champagne houses, and most of them do offer tourist visits. Mr. Gore, yes, it is very easily accessible from the French Riviera as well. I would recommend the best way to connect is to come to Paris and from there to Champagne, or you can also come via Burgundy, that is Dijon, to go to Champagne. Ms. Gargi Joshi, the easiest way of transportation, it really depends on the client's means also, but I would say the easiest would be the train. But if you're asking between or within France, okay, more questions. Yes, I see a very interesting question from Ms. Chitkala Malikarjun. Yes, the Lido does allow children. If you check their website, you will know the exact age that is allowed. I'm coming to the next question. Miss um, Kaur, yes, you do have apartments on rent in Paris. Um, for passes to explore Champagne, I would recommend you get in touch with EasyGo One for the same. So, Mr. Prashant Kothari, I think the main station, uh, uh, there are several in Paris, and it's good to stay probably near Gare de Lyon or Gare de Montparnasse than Saint-Lazare or Gare du Nord. Mr. Mandarpura, yes, a very good question. The best period I would say is throughout the year, but if you are looking only at the harvest season, it would be between it depends on the weather every year. The harvest totally depends on the weather. So I would say anywhere between August to October is a good time to go for to experience harvesting. Miss Manvi Dhingra, places that can be clubbed with Paris and Champagne are uh, Burgundy, which is just down south of Champagne. You can club it with that, or if you go a little farther towards the east, this beautiful region of Alsace um, can be also covered with the main cities of Strasbourg and Colmar, which are again stunning discoveries. I hope that answers your question, but if there is any more specific information you require, please feel free to write to me. Um, Champagne can be a very good place for kids as well, with a lot of activities, Ms. Ruma Gupta, to answer your question. Um, Wine tours, I think, are not very operational well during the harvest season because that's when they work in the vineyards. But I'm sure they have alternative recommendations for visits and visits of the cellars or the boutiques there. Um, Another question. From Ireni Patel, Paris city day tour or night tour? Well, I would say both on 2 different days. Yes, Miss Mrinal Pandit, you could definitely offer champagne in the month of March. Mr. Amit Nasiri, yes, self-drive in Champagne is allowed, and it's again a beautiful discovery. You can also hire fancy vehicles to drive around the vineyards in Champagne. Yes, for travel from UK, train, yes, or there are also flights that are convenient. Other region, again, close to Champagne, I mentioned about Burgundy and the Alsace region, but you could also look at the Loire Valley. For travel passes, my colleagues from EasyGo One would answer your queries. Um, yes, a question from Mr. Gandhi. Any local Paris tour which also covers Statue of Liberty on Seine River, if you mean? Yes, of course. The river Seine River cruises also have their routing that way, so it covers that. Yes. Yes, Mr. Varma, thank you for the information. Yes, Paris Gare de l'Est is the station of origin for all travel towards Champagne, Alsace, and Burgundy. Next question. Can we use the Ural Pass to travel in Champagne, Miss Mrunal Pandit? Yes, most certainly. So I think that's all for now. And as I mentioned, you please feel free to get in touch with us, either me or and our colleagues from EasyGo One as well, for all your queries related to France. We would also like to announce that our second seminar is also under process and preparation. So please be present on the 6th of December for the webinar on few other destinations of France at 3 p.m.
Thank you, Ms. Shreya, for answering all the questions. A big thank you to all of you who attended this session today and Shreya Vidwans who presented this webinar. We are positive that you have learned some new facets of this destination, which will help you sell France as a must-see country for your clients. For any queries, you can get in touch with Shreya. Her contact details are on the screen. For packages, you can contact EasyGo One. Their details are also on the screen. A follow-up email with e-certificate will be sent to you shortly. Also, a reminder, we have another webinar on the 6th of December, which will cover other regions of France. Bye, Ms. Shreya Vidwans.
Thank you, everyone. Au revoir and à bientôt.
Please visit TravelBiz Monitor for registration for the next webinar. Thank you.